Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette, Chock's late mother is Joan's lookalike. Is this a good thing or a bad sign? Chock Chapel is exploring late-in-life love on The Golden Bachelorette, and Joan Vassos looks a lot like his late mother. Chock charmed Joan on the show, staying close to her during the group bowling date. He acted like her fiancé before he had that title. Used to winning people over in the insurance business, Chock knows how to sell himself. Since he is a slick insurance salesman, who's seemingly affluent because he's able to convince people to buy, there may be questions about his motives. However, the fact that he chose a woman so similar in looks to his beloved mom, whom he misses every day, tells a more romantic story. It shows his softer side. Some people do look for partners who have traits they saw in their parents. For example, a woman might grow up with a father who's a real career man, and look for that type of male to marry. A man might want a nurturing type who loves to cook and clean because his mother did that. There are those who go in the opposite direction. But if a relationship between a mom and child is healthy and happy, it makes sense that that person would want a partner that has things in common with a mom or dad. Chock's mother was a real beauty. Tall and lithe, with gorgeous blonde hair, she looked very much like Joan. In the sweet photo above, Chock honors the woman he lost. The one who watched him take his first steps, smiled at him, and loved him. His mother appeared to be elegant, caring and charming. These are traits that Joan shares. Like his mother, Joan's beautiful inside and out. She's kind, mature and emotionally whole. On Thanksgiving, she was able to juggle time with Chock and his kids while grieving her late husband, John. On November 27th, it was John's birthday. Joan looked emotional in her car while recording a TikTok. She talked about everything that she was feeling on that day. She was so honest, and very graceful about her grief and how she still feels it 4 years after John's tragic passing. Chock and Joan seem like an excellent match, so the fact that he chose a woman who's a doppelganger for his late mother seems romantic, rather than odd. He grew up with a blonde woman who meant the world to him. Now, he is lucky enough to have another golden-haired female in his life who also adores him. The charming countryside villa where the Golden Bachelorette had been filming for weeks seemed to hum with an unusual energy. As the sun dipped below the rolling hills, casting a warm golden glow over the sprawling estate, whispers buzzed among the contestants and crew alike. Chock Chapel, one of the season's standout contestants, had just revealed something that left everyone, most notably Joan Vassos, both stunned and perplexed. Joan, poised yet increasingly curious, sat across from Chock on an intricately woven garden bench. The air was thick with the aroma of blooming jasmine, and somewhere in the distance, a cricket's steady chirp filled the spaces between their words. "I've been meaning to say this," Chock began, his voice tinged with vulnerability. "It's uncanny, Joan. You remind me so much of my mother." Joan tilted her head slightly, her smile faltering for the briefest moment. She leaned in, her curiosity piqued. "Your mother?" she asked gently. Chock nodded, his usually confident demeanor softened. "She passed away 5 years ago," he explained. "But when I first saw you step out, I was seeing her again. The way you carry yourself, your smile, even the way you tilt your head when you're thinking. It's all so familiar." The confession hung between them, delicate and yet oddly weighty. For Joan, this revelation was equal parts flattering and unsettling. For Chock, it was an emotional truth he had been grappling with ever since their first meeting. The portrait of a mother's love. Chock's mother, Evelyn Chapel, had been a formidable woman, a trailblazer in her own right. A small-town nurse with a big heart, Evelyn was the glue that held their family together. She had a knack for making people feel seen and valued, a quality Joan seemed to share effortlessly. She had this presence, Chock said, his voice thick with nostalgia. Not just in the way she dressed or spoke, but in how she made people feel. Like they mattered. And you, Joan, have that same spark. Joan listened intently, her fingers lightly tracing the carved wood of the bench's armrest. She sounds like an incredible woman, she offered softly. I'm honored you see that in me. Yet, beneath her composed exterior, Joan's mind raced. She couldn't help but wonder, was this resemblance a bridge to a deeper connection, or a barrier to something real? After all, being compared to a late loved one, no matter how positively, could complicate the already precarious path of finding love on national television. The other contestants react. Back at the mansion, word of Chock's revelation spread like wildfire. The other contestants couldn't resist weighing in, their opinions running the gamut from admiration to skepticism. Chock's always been one to wear his heart on his sleeve, Pascal mused, sipping his espresso in the kitchen. But seeing Joan as a stand-in for his mother. That's heavy. Guy Gansert, ever the pragmatist, chimed in. It could go one of two ways. Either it deepens their bond, or it becomes a shadow they can't escape. I mean, who wants to be compared to someone's mom all the time? Nancy Hulkauer, a close confidant of Joan's, was more empathetic. It's not uncommon for people to gravitate toward qualities that remind them of loved ones, she said, her voice steady. But Joan needs to figure out if she's being seen for who she truly is, not just as an echo of Chock's past. The ghost of love passed. As the week progressed, the producers seized on the emotional depth of Chock's revelation, orchestrating a one-on-one date designed to delve deeper into his connection with Joan. They arranged for a private dinner in the villa's rose garden, complete with a string quartet and a table set beneath twinkling fairy lights. Joan arrived in a flowing sapphire gown, her nerves carefully masked behind a radiant smile. Chock, dressed in a sharp navy suit, stood as she approached, his expression a mix of excitement and reverence. Over the course of the evening, their conversation ebbed and flowed, touching on topics both light and profound. But as dessert was served, the subject of Evelyn inevitably resurfaced. I brought something to show you, Chock said, reaching into his jacket pocket. He produced a small, worn photograph and handed it to Joan. It was a black and white snapshot of a young Evelyn, her eyes bright with laughter as she held a bouquet of wild flowers. Joan stared at the photo, her breath catching. The resemblance was undeniable. Not just in physical features, the shape of her smile, the tilt of her chin, but in the energy captured in the image. It was as if she were looking at a mirror reflecting another lifetime. It's remarkable, she whispered. She was beautiful. She was, Chock agreed, his voice tinged with emotion.